Okay, we're back. Okay, here's a euro. We did rally up to this 135.89 area. You can see level of resistance. Now, if you may have to refresh your screen if we get disconnected. Okay, let me just put that out there that sometimes we get a little internet connectivity issues. Higher highs there, but we do have probably what looks like a double top here on that 30-minute chart at that 35.86, 35.89 area. We can see we have bulls try to rally up to this area again, and then again the second time, and then we're approaching this. This looks like a lower high. It looks like we get some type of a break here. Let me remove this volume deal and remove that as well, and put my other indicators on. And what I'm going to put in my MACD a couple of indicators I like using. Slow stochastics 14.3 and 3, and this is a slow stochastics settings 14.3 and 3, and I'm gonna use that as my timing indicator. Where it dips and crosses over an uptrend, this is where I'm looking for points to get long. But I also want MACD to confirm that as well. So let me go ahead and add my MACD. Okay. So give me a moment here while I get that back up there. Now, what's going on here is pretty interesting, is that we have this divergence here where we've made a new high in price, and the indicator is just like off the map here, where where we've made about the same high in price, but the indicator is making a low. And so that MACD divergence may be a sign that we may break this trend line and drop. Okay, now I'm going to rely on price to tell me that. I want to see a closing price either below this set of lows here. There's a little area of congestion here, and about 35.47, and we also have this area where we have the spike high there about the 35.71 area. Okay, and so you got to figure that either people went long here, placed stops, and are looking for a new high, or people went short and are trailing their stops down to the next swing point. Okay, so in either case, when price moves into either area, stops are going to get triggered and price will accelerate in one direction or the other. So me placing a trade right here may not be the wisest thing to do, because the bulls and bears are fighting it out, and I want to see one of the sides to win, to actually start initiate some scalps either to the south side, because this looks like a wave 3, 4, 5, and ABC type of correction. And let me show you what I'm looking at. When I look at charts, when I look at any type of chart, I am looking for the basic Elliott wave pattern, almost like the DNA of price action. Okay, and for those of you who are brand new, okay, this should be easy. And of course, if you've been here before, you know that I see different things like unicorns and rainbows. But if you don't have the chat box here, notice this 5-wave pattern. I'm looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if I get a lower high, that's going to be my B, a lower high, an ABC. I'm looking for that if I can't make a new high. Now here I've got my 3, 4, 5. Okay, I've got divergence on wave 5. I made a lower high. I've made a lower low. I may break this and make a new low. So this could be my So let me go ahead and label it out. This is my 3. Now you probably say, "Oh, this is a lot of work, Greg." But once it gets going, because nothing's really happening anyway. But once it gets going, and if this is our A, and I should put my question marks in there because everything's a question mark. B or okay. So if this is a 3, 4, 5, and my 1 and 2, well, I don't really care anymore because those have passed. Then I'm looking for either a couple of things could happen. I'm looking for a C leg either to be equal to form a double bottom here, which does me no good if I want to get short. Because yeah, I'll get a trend line break. I'll get what they call a flat correction, and then this thing rockets back up to like 138. Okay, and that's not what I want. Okay, and I'll show you. I'm gonna pop that in there too. These are the types of corrections. The only 2 types I'm concerned about. If I see combinations and triangles, I switch charts. Blah 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 blah. I can't see it. I don't want to see it. Anything that complicated, I don't want to see. Zigzags is what I'm anticipating, that if this breaks, I should get some type of a Fibonacci extension, okay, down there. Okay, if I get a flat, this other one here where A and B are equal, then I look for a break back up to the upside. Okay, so we're in a corrective mode right now, low or high. Either this is a flat. If this is a flat, prices are going to shoot up, and I'm long and strong. I'm buying with both fists. Okay. However, we break to a new low, then we get an ABC. Or most times we get this. We get a zigzag. We get a 3-wave correction down. Now, it doesn't mean that the trend is reversed and this thing is going to go to 121 or anything like that. It just means that in this uptrend is going to take a break, and we can move lower. We can move down to 35.20. The 200 simple moving average, which I have on all my charts, is one of the most commonly watched moving averages in technical analysis. Whether it's a 200-day moving average or a 200-hour or 230-minute candles, usually it demarcates bullishness from bearishness, and so I'm looking at maybe like a 34.80. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do also, while this thing is challenging this trend line, is maybe I have my fibs drawn for a possible correction, and then I'm looking for some type of triangulation where I'm going to this was a basing low that we started to move higher. I'll take my fibs from this low, call it 32.73, go up to my highs right there around the 35.86, and then I'm going to add a 23% retracement, and you can see that my 23% retracement is at 35.12. My 1.618 is 35.20, and then now I'm going to add my commercial support and resistance areas called pivot points, which are included in your market scope charts. I'm going to add those, and what I'm looking for is a confluence of support and resistance at a common area. Yeah, because you have different traders. You're going to have Fibonacci traders who don't look at pivots. You have pivot traders that don't look at Fibonacci, and so they're like political parties. And where we see some type of a confluence, that is where price may target. Okay. Oh, and the central pivot P happens to be at the bottom of our A channel right there. Okay. And so we have the central pivot, and so this may just turn out to be a flat correction. Okay. But it will either be a flat, or if it is a flat, then this thing is going back up. And but if it breaks the low, breaks the trend line, breaks below the pivot, then I can look at targeting 35.20 and maybe even old S1 down here, 35.05. Okay, so that is what we are looking up at as a setup. Cable is actually trading near R1. Let's go over there. and it did nice rejection. It rallied up from this point, rallied up to R1, 58.37, and is coming back down pretty strongly. And we've got this what we got going as far as MACD divergence, and we're actually breaking pretty solidly down there, 58.03. This actually looks like a pretty good short. Let me see if I can get our let's get down to a 5-minute chart. And yeah, that was, we should have looked at that one. We have an evening star pattern right at R1. Again, these commercial support and resistance areas are drawn at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and you can see that price, even some 12 hours later, respects that level that was drawn, and then now price has cascaded down, kind of ran the gambit to the south side already moved into our zone here. Stochastics below the it's over sold, but it can remain oversold for a long period of time. MACD is angle and separation, and we are breaking lower. So let's see if we can get a trade off on that short, maybe a short cable trade, and probably not so large a trade. Okay, and the euro is breaking down as well, so we will take a piece of euro as well. And okay, and my euro yen, I'm just going to close that. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of some type of a pullback here. Let's see if I can get back to, there we go. Okay, so we're short cable. Would love to have gotten short sooner, but you know, from that R1 level, central pivot comes in at 157.83 on my chart. We're profitable from entry, and you know, we're up 1.2 pips. Not a whole lot to write about. Now I have my trade settings set. Probably, what's he doing? I ask myself that all the time. But I have trade settings set on my computer, where I have a I've actually increased my limit to a 20 pip limit, 20 pip stop. You know, to all I do is press it. I have it set on one click. Okay, one click execution with the FXCM trading platform. I press the button, I'm in it. I'm long and strong, or I'm short, and it's going down. I just press the button. Now, if you have small children or pets like kitty cats, they're like running across keyboards, I wouldn't advise using one click, because you could wind up ending up buying some dollar South African rand, and you know, and it might be going in the wrong direction. So I would use maybe double click. But since all my children are not here, and my I don't have any pets, I don't have to worry. I'm not concerned. Look at that. And we've got this big candle here. We're up 5.6 pips. And how long did that take? We got our, again, the central pivot here. This P is at 57.83, and it's calculated by taking the high, low, and close of the previous day, divide by 3 to get the central pivot, and then other points are derived: the R1, S1, R2, S2, and we have the midpoint pivot. So nice big blast off candle to the south side. We are moving lower. Okay, and I was actually long cable. It was a pretty good trade in the cable thread. I got long, and I didn't hold on to that because, you know, why buy and hold? We can tip and run. I got flat. But let me go ahead and share with you that if you check the forums, and when you register for the forums, you know, maybe you're away, but you'll get once you become a member, you can receive email updates of when people are posting, and that is sometimes helpful, because if you see a post from someone you like to see, you'll come back and check and see what they're talking about. Okay. So here we are. or we got the cable trade. Let's take a look at the euro. I don't know what's going on with the euro. And so we're down 2.6 pips there. And we're entering that. And see, we got that break of the trend line there. And let's see if we get a move below. And we actually, you see price actually, if I can move this red box out of the way. Goodbye, red box. Hey, that's the video plays actually. I've never rented from that. But we are coming back down through that line there. But I did post this yesterday. Now, I don't know if you aren't on the forums, you're missing out. And there's your break, trend line break there, follow through, continuation. Again, we're looking for, that is our you know, the old flat correction level. And if we start turning back around, we'll probably exit this trade. But if we do get a traditional zigzag, and you know, if this turns into some type of MACD divergence where we make a lower low, lower than A, then that should hit our limit. It may not, but let me while that is brewing there, let me give you the link there. This is the trade I did on the on cable. If you've Peter, I know you were really interested in this topic, but the opening breakout, the range, and I've explained this strategy before, where you go to 9:30, because that is 9:30 Eastern time is when the U.S. stock market open. And he says, well, Greg, we don't trade stocks, we trade Forex. What do you mean by that? Well, if you usually those traders will trade, you know, those houses or those brokerages will trade currencies as well. So what I did was I go to 9:30, I draw a dotted line at 9:30, count back 6 candles, 5-minute candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I draw this rectangle, and I just extend it. And then I draw a trend line. That gives me my bias that if we're in this rectangle area, and that's the low of the session, this will probably be the low of the New York session. Okay, and this will probably be the high. Now, if we break above, we usually will move higher. Now, notice how price has come back, you know, back down here. This was the London open. So the London session low was actually the low of the day. The low of the day. If the London session it has the low of the day is you know, and the New York session opens higher, usually that's the low. You know, the session before will be the low of the day, which means the bias is going to be to the north or to the long side. Now, consequently, if the London session was the high and we open lower in New York, that will probably, the New York session would have been the high of the day, and then that means that the bias will be down, and we should see prices move lower from that zone. So from there, knowing that the London was down below here, the London session open for cable was down below, I figured that we would have a higher open. So I placed this trade 9:30. Yeah, I got long at the trend line. City Trader asked me about some entries, and I say, hey, how about this going long right here? Okay, and then I think Alejandro posted something. Someone went short. I went long. Okay, you know, I'm kind of contrarian. And so that was our trade. But this is what happened. We did move to the top of that range. We moved up there. This is cable yesterday, and I said we'd get back to 158 or so, and we did. I got out right at the borderline. I said, hey, this is the R1. This green line was R1 resistance. It was also the top of our range, pre-market range. This is our New York pre-market range, 6 candles before. We're at the top of that. I just took it 16.3 in an hour. I'm loving it. I'm like McDonald's. I'm loving it. Okay, and so that was that on that particular trade. But that this is called the opening range breakout. Draw a dotted line on the euro or the pound at 9:30. Count 6 candles back. Establish your range. Project that range out, and look for the bias. And we looked for the top of the range. But you look at where we are now. We are on cable. We got up to the 158. You know, after the QE, and usually after the Fed announcement too. Pound and euro and the other currencies usually rally against that QE. So that was that. Let's get away from the past into what's going on now, and we can see that okay, we're down. Euro is got maybe like a tweezer bottom there at the trend line, but we're coming back. We're just kind of wrestling, bulls and bears still wrestling with that trend line. And my goal was not to be in a trade, you know, want to see once we broke that trend line to see some continuation to the south side, you know, and not. Let's take a look at cable. Get back there, take a look what's going on there, and it also is kind of after the initial move south, we are kind of meandering here. 57.98, the whole number, round number, support 15800, the figure, and we are just hanging in there, slightly negative. Okay. Let's take a look back at euro yen. Euro yen had spiked down to the 123.00, whole number support there, and so we're kind of hanging in there on the 30-minute chart. Lots of small candles, and we're at the central pivot. I have R1 at 124.21. I suppose we get there sometime today. But we did. I was looking for a double bottom after we did spike lower right there yesterday. We did come back and test that low. The trend is up, higher highs and higher lows. However, we're making some lower lows here. But that was our double bottom right there. And I was looking for a little bit more oomph out of that. We stalled at the trend line. This was our low, big spike, GDP release low, and the market kind of ignored it and snapped back up. It just shrugged it off. And so now we're, because personal spending was up, so there's our, we came back, touched that session low, and then we spiked low again, and now we're back up. Okay, so we're bullish on this pair as long as we can hold this 23.02. I think we got as low as maybe 122.97, and we're looking for maybe a break of this area here to get. Now what we can do is set an entry order and say, you know what, I gotta go walk my dog or something, or I have to go you know, take the kids to school, and I can't sit here and watch this. So I may go back a few candles and say, it's 30-minute chart, show me the money, show me some love, show me there's an old swing high right here, 23.67. I can put an entry order there, doing my look mom no hands trades, and put an entry order to buy maybe 123, that's 70. I'll put like 71. Okay, and there you go. I got an entry order there. I got a tripwire. You ever see those little tripwires? You watch those commando movies where they tie a wire from one tree to another, and then bad guys run through the wire and they blow up. Or, you know, that's kind of graphic, but anyway, you get the picture. There's a tripwire here setting right there. Price pops up there, I'll be in the trade, and what I would like to do is get a stop in there just below this congestion zone or below the trend line, looking for target. And I think I can I add it? I can add, hey, I can add a stop. If I would get above there, we get a stop just below this congestion zone, maybe 123.34. Okay, Yeah, maybe 120. Say 123.32, and I'm not going to take profit. This is at the R1 area here. We may exceed that. You know, Euro Yen has a habit of just blowing out these R levels, but the 124. 124.78 was a daily high from way back. You know, we're in like 2011 price areas right now. So let's see if we can get above there. Okay. So again, I got my entry order set 23.71. Looking for look mom no hands kind of trade, and that way I'm letting the market movement take me in and hopefully take me out of this this triangle. And we do have this it's kind of an odd shaped triangle, but okay. So this we have this congestion zone, and then we're looking for a resolution out, and we're bullish as long as we can hold the double bottom 2302. Okay, let me see what you guys are looking at. Let me just check on our current trades that we have, which we're kind of meandering around. And again, we're down 2.1 pips on the euro. Euro still hugging the trend line there. And let's take a look at cable, see what cable's doing. And we're down about 0. Okay, that's good. So we're just kind of hanging at the bottom of the river. Okay, and so I'm looking for maybe a move down to this. There's an area of support here, 57.67, right there, and I do have a 20. Like I said, my 20 pip limit there. Looking maybe there's a swing low there at 68, so just a little ahead of that. And let's see what you guys are looking at. And I see Bertrand. Good morning. Meet and greet. We got. Let's go fishing for some greed. Hello, Greg. Do you think pound has become bullish or still bearish? SSI says that we have you know, that we could go lower in cable. You know, and after this initial this QE, I think that the cable could continue to move lower. If we look at a larger term chart, this is what we're deliberating here. That even if we were, we had this big move south side, if this is some type of a corrective pattern, let me give you my bear market again. When I look at a chart, I look at it in terms of Elliott wave, and you should print those charts up, take a screenshot of those, and put them on your wall and say, "Oh, this looks like what Greg was talking about." Okay, here's your bear market diagram. Okay, it won't look exactly the same. It's not totally straight, but what we have, and let me get rid of these pivots. Okay. Okay, so we have our decline, our 1, 2, 3. 3 is never the shortest wave. 4 correction against the trend, and we look for a 5 extension, or 5, and usually wave 5 is equivalent to wave 1. So if this is our, if I can label it out, okay, if this is our 1 and 2 and the big 3, okay, and our retrace is 4, okay, and then we look for either a double bottom or flat, maybe a wave 5 minimum target back to 56.84, or we look for an extension, okay, in which wave 1, one of the tenets of Elliott wave, that usually wave 1 and 5 are equal. So if that is the height of wave 1, then we look for, and if this is the peak, then we look for wave 5 to come in around that 54, 55 area. Okay. That is if this pans out. Now, this pattern will be invalid if price rallies through wave 1, 60.16. Okay, so this could correct down and not correct so far down. Makes a higher low, and that's all you need to know. Because if this low is higher than this low, then you get this lightning bolt zigzag pattern, and so we get some type of call, either an A, B, C, or or this could be a after it's 3, 4, and then all of a sudden this gets, oh, this is not a 3, this is a 5, and everything starts to recount. So these counts aren't set in stone, and they will, especially when you get toward the end of May, if this is hammering out some type of a bottom, these numbers will shift around. But right now we are at a rebounding from a long decline. So we don't know if this is corrective or impulsive. Okay, and so we look for it. We look like it's going to come down. The question is, how far will it come down? Not whether it's so, because the uptrend of whether of any magnitude is kind of long in the tooth. Okay, so either we look for maybe just a shallow correction and a move higher, or we look for a full-blown drop down to this area. But some type of a drop is coming. Even if you're using just traditional chart patterns, this looks like some type of a bear flag. Okay, and so a bear flag would take the flagpole is not perfectly straight, but usually we get these little bear flag consolidations and a drop. So I'm looking for some type of drop. I don't know how far, either this big one or a small one, but I think we've petered out. Also, we've got this old high back here, so we almost got some type of a double top right there. Okay, so I don't know how far this could correct. I just know that it would give me, it's going to give me what I want. Again, we're at the bottom of the channel, and every time we've gotten to the bottom of this river, we've rebounded from it. Okay, so the telltale sign, we break through 200 simple moving averages at 157.58. Okay, and then we've got this level of support 57.26. So we've got some downside momentum. We've got lots of divergence too. Higher highs in price. Okay, but the indicator is flat to lower. So that's negative divergence, and it's telling you that, hey, the buyers, there are fewer buyers of this. And if this is forming an inverted head and shoulders, it would need to correct as well. Okay, so we're just kind of beating that trade up. Let's go back to the euro. Drop back there. Go back to our 5-minute chart. And we broke the trend line. Hey, there we go. Okay. So again, we have all these little spikes are congestion areas. So price will stop for this one, and then maybe stop for this one, or even rebound. So let's see what we can muster out of that. Okay. Rich rumor. I joined a couple, but I don't think I'm seeing a majority of yours. No, you are in the right place. You are in the right place. And okay. So again, it's kind of sketchy right now. Lots of chop, and I think we'll probably get a little bit more clarification of where markets will go as we get close to an open. Now, here is our London open around the 3 a.m. Eastern time, and basically rallied and dropped, and we're just holding in this range here. Okay, so it's like almost like the city workers will say, hey, you know what? Let those Yanks tell us where things are going. You know, after we've got this consolidation here. This is Asia, and now we're moving into the Frankfurt Open, the European Open, and we're still stuck in the range. That's like our low of the session. The low comes in at 35.46, and we're still trapped in the range, and we're coming in from a downtrend. So this low could be the high of the London of euro for the session, and we could move lower. But we need to that low here, 35.46, is going to be pretty instrumental. Ron Fosh, hey, good to see you. I'm doing great, and you? And are there any differences between the web platform and the download? You're going to find far more features in the downloaded version. The web version is very good if you're using like an Apple computer, or you're in a shopping mall that has a computer. You need a place to trade, and you don't want to download the platform and everything. You just want to log in, place your trade, and get out. So it's a pretty good thing to do it. And I believe if you have an Android device or some type of tablet device or mobile device, it's you can access it as well. Okay. So let me get rid of the big red box. Okay. Euro yen minus at the moment. Now, are you short or long, Bob? Put a green 16 EMA on your tick volume. Looks pretty too. Okay, and you're looking at a sell on euro yen. Let's take a look at euro yen. I'm frightened to sell. I got this. Whoa! I got something going on here. Make sure make sure I don't have any trades open. I thought I closed everything. Okay, I'm profitable. I've got a profit, and I think we remove this. I don't know what this is. Okay, because I'm not in any trade right now. Here's euro yen. You gotta understand, central banks. Oh, I have an entry order. That's what that was. Okay. I'm like going, what's the stop order doing? Lost track. I'm looking at so many different things. The central banks are involved in the euro yen. They're involved in all those yen pairs. And when you've got a central bank that's kind of committed to keeping their currency weak, it's like being a fly trying to stop a freight train. Do you really want to step in front of that? So I've sworn off of I have the tread marks on my back where I've been hit by that bus a number of times, so I'm scared to get short euro yen. Demo or real, I'd rather, because look, here's a short, bam, somebody stepped in there and bought this baby back up, right? It shot back down there. I saw it last night. I was watching them, like going, you know what? And I wanted to short it, and I'm like going, I don't want to do that. And it actually hit my target, and I go, shucks. But then, bam, it shot back up. So I'm just not. I've saved a lot more money not doing that, not getting short. I would rather concentrate on going long. Okay. Now, I was long euro yen from 102. I got out at 103. Thought I was doing something. We're at 123. Can you believe that? Nice. So euro yen. And you hear my superhero alarm. Am I still here? Am I back on? You're still and still alive? Ah, Nightwish, you're a machine. Okay. Again, I've got a this little flag here. Let me go to if you go to the Andrews Pitchfork deal, and there's these channels there, and I'll just stick that in there. And so you got this, looks like a bull flag to me, with a flagpole. Even if you took this as your flagpole from here to the low there, and then I'm looking for a breakout. Could be wrong, but I'm looking for that flagpole to run back up here to this 2394 area. Okay, so why that I do? Oh, I have my entry order there. That's right. So I would not. Okay, on the pivot indicator that you use, you have two different pivots. How do you get those different pivots? Oh, yes. Let me show you how you do that. You go to pivots, click OK, and then go down to show midpoint pivots. Show midpoint pivots, click yes. Default value is no. I like looking at the midpoint pivots, and then I just set it as default, so I don't have to do it anymore. So show midpoint lines guessed. Okay. Click yes, click OK, and that gives you those dotted lines, which are just halfway points between the pivots. Okay. And then we've got some stochastics there, maybe crossing maybe for a signal there on the 5-minute. I hope not. I got this short euro going on, and I wanted to do some follow through there. And we're down 6.2 pips. And, you know, we're kind of hanging around there. I'm going to close it and take it. I'll take it. This looks like a double bottom to me, and we might get divergence. We may get a rocket back up. We may not. But I took 6 pips. I'll take it. It's kind of choppy. I'm running out of time. Hey, look at that. Whoa, look at that. Are we going to winner chicken dinner? I saw 21. Oh, winner chicken dinner. Bam. Sweet. I'll take 20. Alright, let's pip and run. That's what we do. Why buy and hold when you can pip and run? And please come out and join me out in the forums. Be a great place for you to interact with a lot of great traders like Nightwish and Wendy and Striker. And so I invite you to come out there, join the forums, and be part of our online community. That's going to wrap up for me. I can go out and maybe get something to chicken dinner. Okay. Let me give you the link so you can become a member of the Daily FX forums. And if you have any questions, post them in there. I'll take a couple of minutes and answer a few questions while I find this link. And because I know we lost connection for a bit, so I'll give you some of your time back. And as soon as I find this, and also if you want to learn how to trade with RSI, here's a course to help you, and it has a it's one of the most popular indicators, and it's called the RSI, and also this will have the RSI fade strategy at the end of that video, and that's a new course developed here by the Daily FX instructional team. So if you want to use RSI, if you don't want to use stochastics, I like 2 lines, but some people like 1 line. RSI, the RSI fade is a very nice strategy for you to use. If you don't have a strategy or you're still looking for some, I'll pop them in there and then you can try them out and see how that works. Great instructor that tells you how to use that. And I'm looking for our join. There's so many things here. The forums. Join the Daily FX community. Okay, and then you can follow me on Twitter, right there. Okay. Okay. Um, EJ breakout. Hope you're right. I've got a 250 stop. Okay, I think we're gonna go back up on that. We probably gonna have to wait till the New York Open. Right now, the Open is a flat to negative. The futures are, are a little bit mixed right now. Kool-Aid, you were there. Hold on, wait a minute. There's my buddy. Great. You were long at 100 November 13th last year. I remember very well that long. I've taken 2 and closed next day for about 100 pips. Pip and run. There you go, baby. You were there too. I know. I was there. Remember that big fish I caught? You ever heard the fish jokes? And everyone says the fish was that big. And it's like, yeah, right. But you were there. Thanks a lot for reminding me. Now I feel really bad now. Man, I left like 2,300 pips on the table. No, I don't care. There's always another train, or there's always another tube leaving the station. I like that. I heard that from a London trader. There's always another tube leaving the station. I'm like, oh, what's a tube? The U.S. is like, so we have a subway with trains. We have toothpaste in tubes, and then you guys have royals in tubes. And they have the prince on the marking the 100-year anniversary of the London subway system, the oldest subway system in the world. Congratulations. And they said they have royal in a tube. I'm like, oh wow, they're gonna put the royal family in a tube of toothpaste. No, royal tube is the train. And they actually, to celebrate the 100-year anniversary, they had the royal Prince Charles and Camilla on the London subway, which was very cool indeed. They would not be on the subway in Brooklyn. Actually, the subway's in Brooklyn. I was on a subway in Brooklyn, and it's actually like, what, this is it? This is pretty nice, People were pretty friendly. Hey, get out of my way. It's like, okay, hey. I'm a tourist. I'm taking pictures. Just like, get out of the way. And I'm getting one of those Java plugin deals, and so everything is kind of locking up. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Google Chrome is not responding. Come on, baby. Come on now. Seriously. Well, unfortunately, technology is making me pip and run, so I'm overstayed my welcome, and they're pulling the plug on me. I'm going to be out in the forums. Remember, why buy and holding can pip and run. Take care. Cheers. Bye. Oh, see you on Tuesday.